Okay, take two. Now that I've had the holy living crap scared out of me. You had to have brought it in with you when you came in earlier.
I didn't do it.
I'll make sure to include the reason why I'm a little spaced out and I say take two. Short story, I just tried to live stream and my daughter found a wasp on her ceiling. So, yeah. That happened. Kind of funny that we're talking about teenage drama. Drama up in here! Ah! Kill it with fire. Anyway, I'm just gonna skip right over to the topic of the day so I don't take too long doing this. So, how to survive a teenage drama queen. It takes a lot of patience.
You said I was sorry.
I love you.
I love you too.
Anyway, stuff that I have learned about parenting a teenager, especially a teenage girl, is hormones are a real thing. People make a joke out of it, but it's not a joke. It's a real thing. Because I can tell when certain times of the month come up, because my daughter's attitude changes a lot. A lot. But there are times where you can't blame it on hormones. Which is, here comes my survival tips. 1, always keep it 100 with your kid. Always be honest. You don't always have to be savage, but still be honest. Now, my daughter would tell anybody, I am pretty savage when it comes to being honest, simply because this face may look fluffy like a donut, but it ain't sugar coated like a donut. I don't believe in sugar coating because I believe that that's just a way to avoid hurting feelings, but it most of the time doesn't work anyway. I would rather hurt somebody's feelings for a second and be honest with them than coat it in candy and possibly save their feelings, but them not take me as seriously. The message tends to stick a little better when we're upset or angry. So, mad for a second or the message don't stick. I'd rather them be mad at me. My kid, I fully accept that my kid is not going to like me 100% of the time. That is fine. I am not my kid's best friend. Yes, we have a great relationship. We do. I love my kid. But I'm not her best friend. That's another teenager's job. She already has a best friend. That's not my job. My job is mom.
Even though my best friend does make me bad sometimes. I think that's part of her job.
My job is mom. That is my job title, mom. It's not best friend. It's not, bosom buddies. I'm here to do parenting. That's what I do. And I feel like keeping it 100 with your kid also lets them know that they can keep it 100 with you. If you're keeping open, honest communication with your kid, they are not going to have a reason to hide stuff from you. Because they are going to feel comfortable enough to come and tell you the truth and know that you are going to hear them and you're going to not only just hear them, but listen to them. They need that. Because it's a parent's responsibility to make sure that they know that they can feel secure with you. Another thing is, they may not always come out and tell you what's wrong with them. You got to read between the lines. You've got to read their body language, their nonverbal communication. If you notice things are off, and this happens with her all the time. You seem like something's wrong. No, I'm just tired. No, I can tell it's more than that. Because there's a difference between tired and irritated. If you're tired, you're just kind of, but when you're irritated, there's a certain squintiness your face gets, and like, no, I'm just tired. And the tone of your voice changes. You got to notice the little things. You've been with your kid their whole life. You know them. You know their verbal cues. You know their nonverbal cues. Better than they do most times. Half the time she thinks I'm psychic because I can tell when there's something wrong with her, even if she doesn't really understand herself.
It's scary sometimes.
It is scary sometimes. It scares me sometimes. But that's because I raised her. I know her. I see her from the outside, whereas unless she's looking in a mirror, she can't tell when her face changes. She can't tell when she's cutting a face at somebody. She may be doing it unconsciously. But I can tell because I'm on the outside looking in. Number 3, listen calmly. And I know sometimes this is difficult, especially when crap gets real and it's deep and you're upset, you're disappointed, you're irritated. I know sometimes it's hard to stay calm. I'm going to be the first to admit that I lose my crap all the time. I'm one of those parents that loses my shit. But I always have a reason, and I explain that reason to her. And not because I said so, and not because, well, it's just the way it's supposed to be. I don't do those phrases. I give a reason why I'm upset. Because every moment of anger, every moment of disappointment in your child, that is a teaching opportunity to explain to them why you're having the reaction you're having and the steps it takes to fix that. If they don't know why you're yelling at them or why you're upset or why you're disappointed, are they going to learn anything? No. Take time to actively listen and respond and use those moments to teach them stuff about life that they are going to need to know when you kick their butts out the house one day and they're grown and they're having to deal with the adult world who don't give two craps about their feelings. This is when you will find a safe space. You snowflake. You have to teach your kids. And you can't do that unless you have an open dialogue and you listen to them, you listen to their body language, you listen to the words that are coming out of their mouth and the way they're saying it. Also be open-minded. It's been a hot minute since I was a teenager. Yes, I do remember how I felt when I was a teenager. And I can explain to her how things were when I was a teenager. But sometimes they don't connect the two. They didn't know you when you were a teenager. They knew you when you were already an adult as their parent. They don't sometimes fully connect the dots that, oh my gosh, you know, my parents didn't crawl out of the womb fully grown. They had to go through the same crap that I'm going through. They sometimes don't connect it. So you have to stay open-minded. And you also have, and the other reason you have to stay open-minded is because times change. Things change. The environment changes. The social structure changes. You have to respond according to the environment they're growing up in. Not just what you grew up with. You have to try and piece the two together. And try and make it relevant both then and now. Also, don't dismiss their feelings. They're allowed to have their feelings. They're allowed to be dramatic every once in a while. Adults are dramatic too. Case in point, I just had a wasp in my house and I freaked out because I don't know if I'm allergic to anything. I don't want to be stung by something. So I get really super freaked out when something that can sting me ends up in my space. No.
I may like nature, but I don't like it that much.
Nature can stay out in nature where nature belongs.
Like, it stays up there.
We all have our dramatic moments, and kids are no different. So don't easily dismiss them when they come to you and say, hey, I'm feeling a certain kind of way, and I need to rant or I need to vent. Validate them. Let them know it's okay to have feelings. It's okay not to be a robot. It's okay not to be an emotionless hunk of flesh meat. That you're a human being and you have feelings.
We like being listened to.
Another thing, and it goes back to communication, is ask questions that will get them to start thinking logically instead of emotionally. Because when you're in an emotional state, your irrational brain takes a damn vacation. You don't want to think logically. But it's your job as a parent to try and get them to put the brakes on and figure out the reason behind their feelings. Is it really, asking things like, because you have maybe taken it out of context? Was it something that maybe got misunderstood? Or were you just being a little over dramatic? There are times where, yes, that does apply. I've done it to her. Like, I really think you were just being over dramatic. I think you might have read that wrong. You were already upset at that person to begin with. And it's sometimes hard to differentiate what I consider typical teenage drama. Kids fight all the time. Kids are nasty to each other. And you have to differentiate what is typical teenage drama as opposed to what is serious teenage drama. Like, we've had incidences with her and her friends. We've had incidences with her and ex-boyfriends. And it comes down to, it all comes down to, were you thinking logically or were you just thinking with your feelings? Because you react a different way when you're thinking emotionally as opposed to when you're thinking logically. And us as parents, we can see the situation from the outside. So we're able to get a clearer picture than they are when they're in the moment. The last thing I have for you is reaffirm with your children that you are always there for them no matter what. We may not always like you. I tell her this all the time. I love you unconditionally, but I don't have to like your behavior. But I am always there for you. At the end of the day, no matter how upset we get at each other, no matter how much we get mad at each other, we're never going to hate each other. We just may not like each other in the minute. And that's okay.
It's happened multiple times.
We've had our fights. We have. We've had yelling matches.
They're not so pretty.
Where she's ended up crying, I've ended up crying. We've said some stuff. But at the end of the day, we hash it out. We get it all discussed. And we solve the problem. We don't just ignore it, avoid it, or get angry and not want to deal with it. At the end of the day, I love her. She loves me. And even when stuff gets rough, that rhyme, we still love each other. And we both know that I'm always going to be here for her. And that's what's important. You gotta sit down with your kids and establish a relationship with them. One of openness, honesty, trust, and faith. You gotta have that. Kids, whether they want to admit it or not, they want to have a good relationship with their parents. Even when, people tell them, oh, it's not cool to hang out with your parents, or, that's weird that you like to hang out with your parents. I don't know, I think I'm pretty cool. What do you think? She's a red skin potato now, by the way. She got sunburnt. She went fishing with her dad. No matter what, guys, it really just, to deal with the teenage drama, it's hard. 100% hard. Every day is different. Every day is a new chapter and a new struggle. But at the end of every day, as long as your kids know that you love them and that you're there for them whenever they need you, no matter what, that's what's most important with dealing with any kind of teenage drama. As long as they know you're there. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm going to go relax now that the winged demon is out of my house. As always, guys, stay nerdy. And we shall see you tomorrow. Speaking of drama queens, what are you staring at? A what? Kill it with fire. Well, I'd find a way to get up there and kill it. Sorry. See? Teenage drama queen.
Don't judge me.
I can judge you all I want to. That is one of many things that I have a right to as your mother.
It's a natural human fear to be afraid of things that can hurt you.
100 with your kid. They're more likely to open up to you if you keep it 100. Like I'm about to do. I swear to God. What is it?
I don't know. You don't like it.
I'm about to get it 100 up in here, man. You better fight it and you better kill it. Kill it with fire. If it stings, kill it.
It's black and red.
That's a wasp. How in the heck did a wasp get in here?
I don't know.
Go get your dad. This is legit gonna be like me 5 minutes staring at that thing, making sure it doesn't come towards me, because I have no idea if I'm allergic to anything that stings. I have thankfully enough never been stung by anything.
Per usual guy, I'll be there in a minute.
I'll be right back.